In Montevideo, history was made as Uruguay became the first Latin American nation to legalize euthanasia. After years of debate and emotional testimonies, lawmakers approved a bill granting citizens the right to end their suffering with medical assistance. Inside the Senate chamber, anticipation filled the air as legislators debated the ethics and principles surrounding the right to die with dignity.
Sponsor of Euthanasia Legalization Bill, Ope Pasquet, saying, "Because some people need it, this law is necessary. Today there are people with incurable, irreversible diseases who suffer unbearably from conditions medicine cannot cure, people who would like to bring their lives to an earlier end so they do not have to keep suffering to the very end. And right now in Uruguay there is no solution.
No one is forced to do anything here. This is based on freedom. We want people to be able to choose, either keep the current situation, which is their right, or bring forward their death under a law that will provide medical help to reach the end of life in the best possible way, without violence, without pain, in short, to have a dignified death."
Bill's sponsor Ope Pasquet said. Supporters of the legislation called it a victory for personal freedom and compassion, marking a major step forward in human rights and medical ethics. Among those who fought for the bill's approval was Florencia Salgueiro, co-coordinator of the Pro-Euthanasia Association in Empatia Uruguay. Salgueiro said,
"In the last months of my father's life, when the disease had advanced so far that he could not walk, stand, dress himself or even lift a glass of water, it was extremely hard. When he could no longer bear the pain and suffering, even with the best palliative care available, he told the doctors he wanted to die, that he did not want to go through the suffering he knew was coming, and the doctors told him what you are asking is illegal, and we cannot help you. My father was 57 when he died. He put this to the doctors, and they either could not or would not act. That made him very angry and he said, well, the only option you are leaving me is to stop eating and drinking, because I cannot even lift a knife. So that is the only choice you are leaving me. You are telling me I have to live a life I do not want, and that is a nightmare for me. The euthanasia law will be voted on my father's birthday. For me it is an enormous emotional strain. I am doing it because I believe it is right and what I have to do. It will also be a relief when the legislative process ends."
Her advocacy was inspired by her father's painful final days, a story that deeply resonated with many across the country. After intense debate and multiple delays, the Senate passed the bill with a majority vote. The new law allows terminally ill patients who experience unbearable suffering and meet strict medical criteria to request medical assistance in dying under regulated conditions. The decision was met with emotional reactions, applause, tears, and a sense of closure for families who had watched loved ones endure prolonged pain. Supporters argue that the new law upholds dignity and autonomy at the end of life, while opponents warn of ethical and moral risks that could arise from such legislation. Uruguay's move places it among a small number of nations worldwide where euthanasia is legal, setting a precedent that could influence future discussions across Latin America. As the country reflects on this landmark decision, the debate continues beyond the Senate floor about life, suffering, and the right to choose one's own ending.